Hey everyone, it's Rachel. For as long as I can remember, I have loved sharing music and music that I love with other people. My love of sharing music with others has gone through a number of phases over my life. When I was younger, probably in my early teens or a little bit before that, CDs were still the preferred method of listening to and sharing music. So I had a ton of fun back then, creating playlists of my favorite songs on iTunes and burning those to empty CDs to share with friends. At that time, I wasn't really listening to metal yet and hadn't really found my favorite music. I was just kind of listening to whatever was popular, and that made it easy to share and enjoy things with friends. But later in high school and going into college, I got really into hard rock and metal, and I didn't really have anyone that I could share that with. So when I got to college and I was looking at the different activities that were available to participate in, and I saw that there was a student-led radio station that you could apply for a show on, I was very excited. I hadn't been able to share the music that I had gotten so into recently with anyone around me, so I thought that this would be an awesome opportunity to be able to get back into that CD playlist making vibe and be able to share the music that I love with other people. So when the time came, I went to the first meeting of the radio station and applied for a radio show. When I applied for this show, I described it as being about hard rock, metal, and specifically symphonic metal, as those were and still are my favorite genres. Now, because I was a first-year student at the time and didn't have any seniority or any experience with the radio station, I didn't think my chances of getting a show were too great. It was a very popular activity on campus and there were only a limited number of spots. The show slots also varied in popularity. There were some really early morning ones, which no one really wanted to do, and some better afternoon and night ones. A little bit after I applied, I heard back that I did indeed get a radio show, but it was at 8 a.m. on Friday mornings. I myself am not really an early riser, and of course, not many people probably wanted to listen to metal at 8 a.m. on Fridays. But I was super excited about having a radio show, and I decided that I wanted to get my foot in the door at the radio station so that I could have a chance of having a show throughout my time in college. So I accepted the time slot, and I soon had an 8 a.m. on Fridays metal radio show in college. I knew at this point that the chances of any college student listening to my 8 a.m. Friday morning metal radio show were very slim. But I was excited about having the opportunity to share the music that I love with others out there who might potentially be listening, even if no one was. So every Thursday night that semester, I would sit down and figure out what playlist of songs I should use for my radio show the next morning. I always had a lot of fun with curating playlists and putting together special ones for different occasions, like I would do a Valentine's Day one or a Halloween one in October. And every Friday morning, I would get up early, my alarm would go off a few times, and then I would have to run over to the radio station at the college and start playing my music. I think it was actually the first show of the day at that point, so I'd also have to power on the radio station and get things up and running. It was a really cool experience getting to use all of the radio station equipment, and I had a lot of fun with it. In between songs, I would actually give commentary on the song that I had just played and the one that was coming up, and talk a little bit about the artist. This was probably the first time that I had talked to an unknown audience about something music related. Of course, as I had expected, I don't think many people listened to this 8 a.m. show, but there were speakers outside the student center that would play the radio show that was currently going on, so maybe some people were forced to. But regardless, I had a ton of fun with my radio show, and I decided that I wanted to apply to get another one next semester. So it turned out that I really didn't have a problem getting a show the next semester or the semester after that, and so on, because the radio station wanted diversity in music, and since I was the only one doing a metal radio show, they basically had to give me a time slot. So the next semester I got a much better time slot, somewhere in the mid-afternoon, and I kept doing this radio show for the rest of college. I loved doing this radio show in college, and it was a really relaxing time for me where I would be able to sit down, listen to, and share music that I loved with other people. In the radio station there was actually a phone that theoretically listeners could call into to request songs, but in actuality, no one ever did. But one time I was sitting in my radio show kind of just relaxing to my music, and all of a sudden the phone started ringing. So I picked up the phone, and it was actually someone who was requesting me to play a Nightwish song that they had heard on my radio show before for their girlfriend. It was crazy to have confirmation that there was someone who I didn't know listening to my show and learning new music from it. So that was a really cool experience. Overall, I really enjoyed doing this radio show in college. It was one of my favorite experiences, and I really enjoyed being able to share the music that I loved with other people and introduce people to new types of music. YouTube has filled the void that my radio show left behind and has allowed me to share the types of music that I like with many people out there through the songs that I'm playing and learning. And of course, learning to play guitar has allowed me to share new aspects of music that I didn't even know about before, and that has been awesome as well. Basically, I just really love music, and I really love being able to share music with other people like all of you. Now, while I can certainly share music through YouTube and through guitar, I also do sort of miss that aspect of creating a curated playlist and sharing that with other people like I did through my CD playlist and then radio show. So for the past couple of days, I've been putting together a Spotify playlist with some of my favorite music from some of my favorite artists over my history of listening to rock and metal music. I've limited this playlist to 3 songs per artist, and I think that there's about 100 or so songs in the playlist currently. For some artists, it was really hard to narrow it down to just 3 songs. There are a lot of songs that I love from many different artists, but I wanted to keep it down to 3 so that you have a wider range of diversity in the different artists. Now, I don't necessarily listen to every song on this list all the time, but I have at one point or another really enjoyed and loved each song in this list, so I hope you enjoy checking them out. I have the link in the description to the Spotify playlist if you'd like to check it out, and if you do, I would encourage you to listen to it on shuffle because it's not really in any sorted order. I plan on adding more to it over time, so it will likely continue to change. Right now the list is mostly hard rock and metal focused, although I did throw in a couple different ones, couple classic rock songs. I do like some songs in other genres though, but I wanted to keep this list more concentrated. So if you do end up checking out the playlist, please let me know in the comments what you think, what your favorite songs are, what your favorite artists are. I'd be really curious to find out. Also, I'm always super excited to discover new music that I love, so if you have any artists and favorite songs that you'd like me to check out, please leave those in the comments as well. I hope that some of you enjoy my playlist and end up finding some songs that you might not have heard before that you really like. I'm so thankful to have this awesome community here that I can share music with through various means. I hope that you enjoyed the story of my history of sharing music with others, and please do let me know what you think about the Spotify playlist. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.